Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Gossip. My name is Mara and welcome to today's episode. Last week there wasn't one, I know, just purely again because there wasn't a lot to talk about, but we're back again, so that's the most important thing. We are back to talk about the Vegas Grand Prix because holy guacamole. I mean, the Grand Prix itself wasn't that crazy, but the aftermath has been it's been a bit crazy. So yeah, we are here to talk about that, but not only are we here to talk about Formula One, we're also here to talk about F1 Academy. And yeah, that being said, let's just get straight into today's episode. Alright. I don't know where to start. I have a lot written down for today. I'm thinking that I want to start this episode with F1 Academy. The girlies have had their last weekend in Las Vegas, and we now know who is their champion of this season. And the third F1 Academy World Champion is none other than Dorian Pain. It was really a battle between her and Maya Werk going into the weekend. And unfortunately for Maya, she's had a lot of bad luck this weekend because her race weekends the past season has been great. Like she's been on the podium a lot, but Dorian as well. But yeah, it just didn't work out for Maya. She DNF'd in the first race, which obviously they only get up to 8 points. It's the first race have the same points as the sprint races in F1, and the second race have the Grand Prix points. So for the first race, it were only 8 points, but I mean, Maya already, there was a gap between her and Dorian wasn't first, so that gap only, enlarged. And then she was on the podium for race 2, but unfortunately Dorian also scored points, and yeah, that caused Dorian to win. I find it so fun. I knew this season would be either Maya Works or Dorian's season. Like one of the two would be world champion, and I really, yeah, like I said, I expected one of them to be the world champion. Also because this is their second season, so they are not allowed to come back. We need to actually say goodbye to so many people, and I hadn't thought about that, but we need to say goodbye to so many people. So who do we need to say goodbye to? We need to say goodbye to Dorian, obviously, to Maya, to Tina Hausman as well, which I find really sad because she was actually my favorite driver in F1 Academy. Leah Block as well, which I also find very sad. Aurelia Nobles as well. Chloe Chambers as well. And then I only realized this weekend, Chloe Chong as well, because she raced the first season in F1 Academy, but she didn't race the second season, but she's now done the third season. 2 seasons in total in F1 Academy, and apparently you also have to stop then. So it's not that you can do multiple seasons if you take a gap season. It's just 2 seasons in total, and then you're out of F1 Academy, which I get that. But, I don't know where they're going. Like, I feel that, they should get more support to go through to other series. You get what I mean? Because obviously Dorian is now champion. She gets a full race seat, like a fully funded race seat in British F4, I think. Or something like that, but the others don't. Like, and they are good racers. Like, they genuinely are good racers, and they're backed by so many F1 teams. So where do they go from now on? Honestly, like, where do they go? Because for some people, I really want to know where they are going because I really want to keep up with what they're doing. I really think some of these drivers deserve a seat in F3. I really think that they are capable of competing with the boys. If you get what I mean. Marta Garcia, who was our first F1 Academy champion, she really, I think, deserves a seat in F3, but she's now racing for the Iron Danes, I think. Abby Pulling also really deserves an F3 seat. Like I said, Dorian Pay as well, Maya Wurg, Leah Block as well. She's really good. So yeah, it's just sad that they don't get more support. Like, they're backed by the F1 teams in while they're racing in F1 Academy, but once they have to stop, they don't really get much support anymore, which, yeah, I think that's a little sad. Yeah. Yeah, that being said, let's now move on to Formula One. Las Vegas. Before I start talking about Las Vegas, I just have to put it in here. I didn't wake up for the qualifying session and for the race. It was my birthday on Friday, and so yeah, I was originally planning of waking up for Quali, you know, in the Saturday night. I even set an alarm. My alarm went off 4:55, and I put it off, and I went back to sleep. And I was like, I'll watch it this morning. I'll watch it when I wake up, because I was just so tired. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then on Saturday evening, I went to the Wicked movie marathon, which ended at 1 a.m., causing me to be home and in my bed, trying to sleep at 2, which meant 3 hours of sleep, and then I had to wake up again for the race. And I was like, I'm not even gonna try and do that. I'm not even gonna set an alarm. I will just rewatch it later. So that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, but it's just like, is it me or is it not me? Like, I have a feeling that this season's Las Vegas, like, Grand Prix was earlier than last season's one. I can vaguely remember, at least the qualifying session, not having to wake up at 5 a.m. for the qualifying session, but like 7 or 6 a.m. But that might just be something wrong in my head. But like, I can vaguely remember that. Vaguely. Yeah. Anyway. Quali. First things first. I woke up, right? And I was like, okay, taking my laptop, logging in. I clicked watch now. I was so flabbergasted to see a wet track. Like, I knew it was raining a lot. Like, it had been raining leading up to the Grand Prix weekend. But I didn't get the memo that it would be raining during Quali. And it was, I think, 8:30 when I started watching Quali. But yeah, I was so flabbergasted. I was like, what? What? What do you mean it's wet? Like, yeah. It did make for a very exciting qualifying session. Like, it was very fun. It was very exciting. I have a few takeaways from all the sessions. The first things first, Q1, I think the biggest takeaways here, and I think that's obvious. Lewis Hamilton in P20, Kimi Antonelli in P17. Crazy, honestly, because Kimi's pace was actually, like, the fact that George Russell topped that session and Kimi is in P17 is a bit concerning. It is a bit concerning. I think it's just, for Kimi, it's just the fact that, one, it was a new track for him, and two, it's wet, and you don't really, like, you're scared to break the car, I think. Because, obviously, Alex Albon went into the wall. I think as a rookie, you are pretty scared to, like, break the car and just not be able to, do the Grand Prix. So I think that is what played parts for Kimi. For Lewis, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, no clue. I think it's just the weather. I think the Ferrari wasn't really up to the wet weather. But then again, Charles did make it to Q3, so why didn't Lewis? Yeah. yeah, those two are my biggest takeaways from that. Then in Q2, it's not in the drop zone that I have a big takeaway. It's actually Oscar Piastri P10. That was a close call. That was actually such a close call. I was sitting here, I was like, what? Oscar might be out. Oscar might be out. In the end, it wasn't, but it could have easily been out, and that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Um, yeah, and then my biggest takeaways from Q3, Carlos Sainz in P3. That man, that freaking man. Ugh, he knows how to drive that Williams. At the beginning of the season, it was a little bit, he wasn't really there yet, but he knows now how to freaking drive that Williams. And I'm so excited to see what he can bring next season, because obviously, all new cars, everybody has to get used to new cars, to a new car. I really think Carlos Sainz can be a world champion someday. But I mean, most of these drivers, I have a feeling that they at least sometime can be a world champion. But yeah, P3 was actually insane. Yeah, I was actually not even gonna lie about that, hoping for a Lando front row. I would have, I would have been there for that. Unfortunately, we didn't get that because Max came and spoiled the party, but still. Then again, Oscar Piastri, P5. What? What? How is it? It's not only I've written this down for the Grand Prix, but it wasn't even only the Grand Prix. The fact that Oscar had no pace in comparison to Lando. Is it the car? Is it just driver, like, not capability, because we both know they're capable of like a lot of stuff, but I mean, like, you know, being scared to do something wrong? Is Oscar struggling with that? Is it just pressure? I don't really know what it is, but something isn't going right for Oscar anymore the last few races. His qualifyings have been poor, to say the least. Yeah, yeah. And then lastly, in Q3 also, Charles Leclerc, P9. Like I said, the Ferrari, I don't think it was up for the wet weather, but I mean, I did expect it to be a little bit higher. Yeah. I mean, it's still a Ferrari, you know. He's been out qualified by 2 Racing Bulls. I think there was also a Aston Martin in front of him. Like it's still a Ferrari. So what's wrong with the car? What's not going completely right? That, like, have a look at that, maybe. That was actually everything I had for the quali. Moving on to the Grand Prix. Like I said, the fact that Oscar had 0 pace in comparison to Lando was so clear to me during that whole Grand Prix. Like, Oscar got overtaken by so many cars. Lando did too, but that was purely because of his aggressive like first corner, which I get that Lando went aggressive there, but maybe a little bit too much. Maybe a little bit too much. And in his own words, he did fuck it up. He effed it up, like he said himself. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we will talk about the big elephant in the room for Oscar and Lando in a minute. But yeah, you know, Lando lost 2 places there in that first corner. Oscar lost a lot of places as well in, I think, also 2 places, you know, from the start. And then I think he was overtaken again by Charles Leclerc on track. So he lost quite a few places, and McLaren played it really well strategy-wise. Like, they had a good strategy, causing Oscar to finish the Grand Prix in P5, I think? Or was it P4? Wait, Max, Lando, George, Oscar, Kimi. Yeah. Technically in P5, because technically in P4, wait, no. Technically in P5, because Kimi had the penalty, and that cost Kimi to go 1 place back and Oscar 1 place up. That's how it is. So yeah, McLaren did play it really well, strategy-wise, causing Oscar to be higher up in the end. But still, there was no pace in Oscar's McLaren. There was no pace in that car. And I'm really wondering, like, why is there such a big difference between Lando and Oscar these last few races? The last time Oscar's been on the podium, Italy. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy. Oscar's not. His form has just, went down, declined so fast. I don't know what it is for Oscar. If it's the pressure that's getting to him, or I don't know. It is really clear that something's not really working for Oscar, while it is working for Lando. And obviously, talking about the McLarens, we do have to talk about the disqualification for both of them. So yeah, the reason for that disqualification, I've written it down. The thickness of their rearmost skid was not as required, which basically means blank wear. We've seen it before. I think it was this season as well. We've definitely seen it last season with George Russell losing his Spa Grand Prix win because of his blank wear. I mean, yeah. As a McLaren girly, as a Lando girly, I'm very sad to see it happening. And the thing is, I watched the Grand Prix 2 hours after it finished. 2 hours after it finished, right? Not a lot after that the Grand Prix was finished. It came, like, it was known that the FIA was looking at the McLaren cars. But it was 2 hours ago that they said it. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, 2 hours ago, they're not going to disqualify them. Nothing's going to happen to them anymore. And then I was about to leave for my dance practice. I went on Instagram one last time and I saw disqualified. And I was like, what? Wait. What? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how blank wear works, to be honest. I'm just a girl. Okay, I'm just a girl. I should maybe look into it a little bit more. It does make that the championship right now is alive and kicking, as I like to say it. Because both McLarens did not score points. So Lando did not extend his lead on Oscar. Oscar didn't extend his lead on Max. Max gained 25 points because he won the Grand Prix. So now Max is tied with Oscar on 366 points. And Lando is 24 points ahead of both of them with, 390 points. So, say Max wins in Qatar, like the actual Grand Prix, because we have a sprint race in Qatar as well. Max wins the Grand Prix in Qatar, and Lando and Oscar don't score points. Max is leading the World Championship. Like, so many people were saying Max is going to be World Champion, Max is going to be World Champion, and I was like, nah. We're fine. Lando's fine, No, not anymore. I gotta be honest, I'm a bit scared. I'm scared. Yeah. Would it be one of the most epic, beautiful comebacks in F1 ever if Max wins this championship? Absolutely. And I would be still happy with Max as champion. I'd rather have Max as a world champion than Oscar as a world champion, and that, as a McLaren fan, is crazy that I'm saying that. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Grand Prix. I do want to give a special shout out to freaking Kimi Antonelli. The fact that he was not driver of the day is beyond me. Who decided to make Max Verstappen driver of the day? Who decided that? Because he didn't even do that much. Kimi? Crazy. Because of the McLaren disqualifying, he's on the podium. Kimi Antonelli from P17 is on the freaking podium. Yeah, I mean, we do need to give Kimi props for that, because that was one I think maybe his best drive in F1 up until this moment, because I think we're gonna see a lot of things from Kimi in the future, but this drive was in freaking insane. He overtook so many cars, and I mean, the strategy at Mercedes was probably one of the best this weekend. He got really lucky with that VSC at the beginning because he started the race on the soft. The only driver to start the race on the soft was Kimi. And then the VSC came. They changed his tire to a hard. It's done. No need to worry about that anymore. And he just did the rest of the Grand Prix on his hard. Like, but I honestly think that best strategy of the whole weekend. Like, Mercedes, well done to them. Yeah, also George Russell with his broken steering wheel. The fact that he still managed to keep it on the podium, well done. Well freaking done. It really was Mercedes this weekend. Like, their driver in F1 Academy becoming the world champion, both drivers of their like F1 team on the podium. Like, it really was their weekend. Like, yeah. And then what else do I have written down? Oh yeah, I need to put this in here. This is nothing related to racing or the Grand Prix, but I loved the special livery of Racing Bulls. I just needed to put that in here. Every time I saw that livery on my screen, I was like, oh, the person that did that, they understood the assignment. That holographic, stop. That was so good. That was so good. The fact that, like, in certain lights, it was just a normal white car, and then in other lights, other camera points, it was Stop. It was such a good livery. I really loved the Williams special livery as well, like the black livery, but I think the best special livery was still the Racing Bulls livery. That was. And then same for special helmets. We had quite a few, but I think the best special helmets were Lando's because, yeah, I mean, it was very cute. It was very fun. It was fun. And actually, first place for special helmets, Lewis Hamilton. That glitter helmet. And then they showed his onboard camera, and the only thing, literally, I kid you not, the only thing I could focus on was that sparkle little helmet. I was just looking at like the sparkles, the way the light hit those sparkles. Yeah, I'm a sucker for a sparkle. I'm a sucker for a holographic livery and a sparkle helmet. I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say? I'm just a girl. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually everything I've written down for Las Vegas. Next up, we do have the Qatar Grand Prix. It is this weekend because we have triple header right now. So Qatar's this weekend, Abu Dhabi's next weekend, and then we're done. Then the season is over, guys. And what do you mean the season is already over? Like, what do you mean the season is already over? We're gonna go into winter break, and I'm just like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But it does mean I can start my new journal, so that's fun. I'm really excited to start my new journal. Yeah, Qatar. I obviously, like I said, the championship alive and kicking. It's gonna be interesting in Qatar. Yeah, yeah. Also, because Qatar is a sprint race. Qatar is the last sprint race on the calendar, and those points can be significant for the championship. Those points can be very significant for the championship. Definitely now with Max in the mix. Yeah. I'm still scared. I'm still scared as Lando girly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Qatar because I can't believe I'm saying this. F2 is finally back. Do y'all know how long it's been since we've had F2 race? I think almost 3 months. I think it's been something like that, 2 months. It's been a while. What was their last race? Wait, let me look it up now. I can't remember. See, that's how long it's been. I can't remember what their last race was. Was it? I'm going on the F2 side, and there's so many like breaking news things that I'm just like, maybe I need to. I should have looked into this before I started this episode. Holy fuck. The last race was Baku. That's the 19th from the 19th to the 21st of September. Almost 2 months ago. That's insane. Anyway, let me now look at all those breaking posts that I'm seeing over here. Yeah, obviously we got a lot more signings for the F2 2026 season. I don't know what the last one was that I told. I think the last one that I told you all about was Rafael Camara for Invicta Racing. Let me go through the ones that I have not told you all about yet. First things first, I think very important for the last two races from this season is that Campos Racing have confirmed that they're signing for next season. So Nicholas Solov, the big Bomoglat guy, will be doing their last two races. So that's in the place of Pepe Marti. Pepe Marti went to FE, so he's now racing there. And so they have brought in Nikola Solov to do the last remaining races for Campos Racing next to Arvid Lindblad. What else do we have over here? That's a difficult freaking name. I honestly don't know how to pronounce this. Wait, how do you even? I'm gonna let my computer pronounce that. Okay, listen. That man, he signed for Ayrton Grand Prix. Crazy. I will never be able to pronounce that. Okay. I'm gonna practice it. I'm gonna practice it so I'll be able to do it for season 4 of the podcast. I'm gonna do that. Anyway. Who else have we? Okay, so I don't think we've had any more signings for the 2026 season. We've just had a lot of signings for the last two races of the season. I hate that. I hate that F2 does that. I get that they do it because they want to know how those drivers perform for maybe the next season, but I hate that they do it because it's just so annoying for my bullet journal. Because now I need to print so many more pictures. I need to put so many more things in my journal, and I hate that they do this. So, Trident have confirmed that Laurens van Hoepen will race for them in the last two races. Then we also have Martinius Stenson, who has also signed for next season. He will do the last two races for Rodin Motorsport. I'm sorry. And then Trident have also confirmed James Walton, which I love James. James is very fun. For Qatar. Not for Abu Dhabi, just only for Qatar. Which I don't know. Can I still see who originally raced for Trident or not? Did they already change that on the website? They've already changed that on the website. I need to go and grab my journal for that. Because now I need to know who is out like of their race seat for these last two races. Wait, was there one new driver for Invicta? Did I just say that there wasn't one new driver for? No, it's not. Where did I then say it? Oh yeah, Rodin Motorsport. That's what I said. So, like I said, just Pepe Marti is out at Campos. We have Cordeel out. Oh. I was gonna say finally, but honestly, yeah. 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 So Cordeel has been switched for Stan Sean at Rodin Motorsport. And then I tried. Oh no! Oh, that's really sad. You have to say goodbye to Sammy Megatuniv. I love that. I love this last name especially. So Sammy Megatuniv and Max Esterson are out, and then we have Van Hoopen and Wharton in. And I think that's all like the drivers that are in for the last two or maybe one race in James Wharton's case. For the yeah, plus races of F2. Yeah, with that chaotic little ending there, I'm gonna end this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly really did. I will obviously be back next week. I will probably have a lot to talk about with the F1 Championship alive and kicking. So yeah, you on YouTube, you will hear me again next week, and you on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you are listening to this right now, you will also hear me again next week. Bye!